If you want to see a quick update on how I'm using my second Hobonichi weeks, then stay tuned. On my second Hobonichi weeks planner and cover, and just kind of show you guys what I'm using this for, to maybe give you some ideas of what you can use a second Hobonichi weeks for. So a lot of people use it as main planning. I use mine as my everyday carry for like all my family planning, appointments and all of that stuff. I'm not currently using it because of One Book July, but it is what I use most frequently for that. But I also have this second Hobonichi weeks, and I'm using this one for a different kind of, not really planning, more like memory keeping. And I'll show you as we get into it. Let's talk about the cover a little bit. So this is a Hortensia, and this is from Spek. It is a custom. This is a waiting list leather, so it does take 6 weeks to get on the waiting list, and then it generally takes another 5 to 6 weeks after you've paid your invoice to actually get one of these planners. I would say, let's see, it's not coming off super true. I'm just going to move my light a little bit, see if I can maybe adjust it. That's pretty close. My phone camera, which is what I use to shoot my footage, generally makes planners, and oh, it's changing color as we speak. It generally makes things a little more blue than they should be. So I don't know why that is. I've tried adjusting it. Sometimes, depending on lighting, it will come in and out, and you'll see it will be a lot more of its true color, and then sometimes you'll see that it's very pink. So I'm just kind of adjusting it a little bit. It's just tough because it looks really blue on camera, and it's really not even, it's not at all. So it's very, I would kind of call it almost like a bubble gum pink a little bit. So, okay. So this is the Codex. I believe I didn't do anything different except the clasp and the back pocket. Hang on one second. Let me see. Okay, there's no info that will be shown there. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so this is basically the standard size. I mean, the standard configuration on the inside. I did do an A5 clasp, so it's a little bigger. I'll show you. So, and I always do A5 clasps. The A4 would be even chunkier, like this way. And the standard clasp is a little bit smaller. So to me, it just looks too skinny. I don't like the skinny strap for the clasp. I prefer a nice big chunky one. So I did the A5, and then I did do a big back pocket, which currently I don't have anything in it. It just looks like a big black hole in there. So standard configuration, which, give me a second, let me take this business card out so people don't spam call her. It is 6 card slots this way, and the small pocket at the bottom. There is a slip pocket here, and then another slip pocket here. So I currently have just like a plain old notes. This is a Tomoe River paper one that I've had for quite some time. I just have that slipped into that pocket to just use for backup notes if I need it. And then we'll get into exactly what I'm using this for, but then there's also a back pocket here and a pen loop standard. Okay. All right, so let's get into what am I actually using this second weeks for. So I know I've talked about it a number of times in the past that not only am I a realtor, but I do general contracting. My husband and I will do house flips or build new houses, just dependent. And that is primarily my income. And, you know, sometimes that takes a really long time to get that income because you could build a house and it takes you a year and then it takes you another 4 months to sell it. So I kind of break that up over time as being part of my income. So when I am doing a house, I want to have a lot of information to have with me so that I can kind of look back and reflect on how I could have done it differently, how I could cut back on certain costs, things that I should have done that I didn't, those types of things. So what I did was this particular one, because this is when I first got it and decided to go ahead and start, I basically did a timeline of when we started stuff in 2018, back in October, and basically all the way up until March, just to kind of get myself up to speed on things that had been done on this new home that we have built. Then I use my sprocket just because it's nice and easy. And I print out pictures on the sprocket. They don't have to be perfect because for me, I'm just using this as a quick reference. And so I'm basically taking pictures of different stages. So I'll show you as we go through. So this is different stages of the house. So you can see the foundation. Here they're capping the foundation. And I kid you not, from this day until this day, these two pictures, let's see. I have a timeline out here. Nope. So we are looking at, the foundation was capped the end of January, and the house was framed to this stage by the 4th. So we're talking like 4 days. They had this house completely capped and roofed, framed and roofed. It just blew my mind. Just an amazing, amazing company that did such a good job, you know, getting stuff up so quickly, and in some seriously frigid weather here in Maine. So basically what I do is I just take pictures of those stages. I have my timeline back here that I did, and then I just kind of keep going with the different pictures. This also helps as you're building down the road so that you know like where plumbing is and electrical, so that you're careful when you're doing your finish work not to get stuff, you know, caught in there and accidentally drill through things that shouldn't be. So basically what I did is every time something was finished, I either took a picture or I would write different things, you know, that were done, and I just kind of went through. So, you know, you can just kind of see, I would like write notes for a little bit here and there, and then I would just kind of plop in some pictures, you know, and that's basically what I did for the whole entire thing. So for kind of like a project timeline, especially one that's going to be extended, but you could do a couple projects, you know, in one yearly hobo. You can see it works out really well to have, you know, all of this information in, you know, in your hobo. So then in the back, what I did was I just kind of put one of these dividers, and then I just used packing tape, because I only did one side instead of putting two sides together. I just did one and covered it in packing tape on both sides. And then I started kind of writing out like my budget and how much stuff cost. This is something I'm going to need to go back and update. And then I'm also writing in like, because now that the house is complete, I'm writing in like showings and and when, which I don't think I've actually done it in my monthlies here. No, because this is July, but I haven't updated this for a week or so. So I'm going to put the showings that I had, and then on the day, I'm just going to kind of write a little bit of the feedback so that I have an idea of the feedback that we're getting on the house. So, you know, it works great for me for a house, but you really could use it for any project. Just to kind of have something real simple that you can go back to and like really look, like say you're doing a home renovation at your own home. You could sort of do like a little timeline of your kitchen and take pictures of how things go. And then you would really have this, you know, picture story timeline of how things went, how long it took, so on and so forth. So I just think that is, you know, it's really another fun way to utilize a week's. This was a spring start, I believe. Maybe it wasn't. Yes, it was a spring start. So, you know, hopefully I'm not going to have the house till the end of the year. But what I've decided to do, because we're also working on selling our primary home, is I'm going to now pick up where I left off with the stuff for that house. So what I'm probably going to do is go ahead and label the beginning here with the address for this house, this new one here, and then I'm gonna start a new divider label for the home that I'm in, because I'm trying also now to keep track of like all the maintenance stuff that we do before we list it for sale and anything like that that we may need, to just kind of keep a timeline now of our process of getting this house fixed up and listed for sale, and, you know, taking pictures and all of those things that need to be done for this house as well. And that will really help me kind of finish up the weeks, you know, to next spring, because between getting the house ready for sale, selling it, and moving, I really should be able to fill up, you know, the rest of this week's. So anyway, I just thought it was kind of a good idea, you know, maybe give you guys some different ideas on how you can use the weeks. There are definitely so many things out there that you can do. I've had some people, you know, mention that they use it for like daily affirmations. Some people use it as writing like little love letters to their children each day, so that they can show that to their children down the road. So there definitely is a lot of uses for the Hobonichi weeks that you can do. And, you know, you can see this one's not super chunked up yet, even though I've put a lot of pictures in there. You know, there's quite a few pages that there's nothing but writing on them. So I don't think it's going to get too chunky, but even if it does, that's sort of part of the journey and just kind of makes it fun. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye.